sweet brioche hot cross buns for Easter, filled with your favourite spread and cooked in an air fryer. What's not to love? Check out how these look. I'm going to show you how to whip these up nice and easy at home. I'm going to show you step by step with all the ingredients. So let's jump straight into it.
1 Pizza 2 ready, cooking and unboxing videos.
And welcome back to the channel, everyone, and thanks for joining me. Like I've just said, these are fluffy, soft, full of flavour, and it's a real different twist on a traditional hot cross bun. Now I'm going to show you step by step how to make this because it is a brioche bun. It's an enriched dough, a little bit trickier than a normal dough. However, follow these step by steps to the end and honestly you're going to be thinking you're in heaven. Now, which one of these would you choose? Let me know in the comments below. I've got all of these are from Aldi, closest supermarket. Now it always makes me laugh because they always do their own versions of different things. So I've got this Biscoffe looking spread. I've got the old Nutella, which is meant to be Nutella. This one is a Jive spread, so it's their version of a Twix. We've got this chocolate duo, which is a white and milk chocolate mix. And then they've got these two on the shelves for Easter. They've got mini egg, and they've got this one that's called gooey, and it's basically the inside of a Cadbury's kind of cream egg filling. Now make sure you head over to, I did a video a couple of years ago, again in the air fryer, where I coated a Cadbury's cream egg in chocolate brownie and Biscoff crumbs, so it looked like a Scotch egg, but when you cut through it, it was this amazing sweet dessert. Check that video out, I'll put the link next to me now. And while you're doing that, why not consider subscribing to the channel? I'd love it if you did, and it really helps the channel to grow as well. So next, I've decided I'm going to go with the full Easter treat. I'm not going to use the ones that Aldi have on the shelf all the time. I'm going to go with the mini egg. So I'm going to put this inside the dough, and then I'm going to dollop some of this cream egg mixture. I'm actually going to use this to make the cross on the top on the hot cross bun instead of the traditional flour mix. So that's what we're going to do. I've also got some mini eggs and some white chocolate buttons as well for decoration. But we'll just move all this to one side and we're going to get on with the dough. And I'm going to move you in a minute to tell you what I've got. But in the bowl in front of me I've got 600 gram of strong white flour, or 00 flour if you prefer. I've got 60 gram of butter, which I've diced up. I've got 3 eggs, but we're only actually going to use 2 of these in the dough. The rest, or the final one, is going to be used to egg wash the top. And I've got 350 ml of lukewarm milk, so I've put this in the microwave, and this is around the 35 to 40 degree mark. And the reason we're going to do that is because we're going to activate the yeast with some honey and a bit of vanilla in this milk. So I'm going to move you in and we're going to get all that process cracking. So the first thing we're going to do is get the yeast. So I've got some of the dried active yeast. I'm going to go in with two teaspoons. I'm then going to go in with some vanilla, just 1. And then I'm going to go in with 4 spoons of honey, so using dessert spoons. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the reason I'm using honey is that's replacing the sugar element that you'd use to activate the yeast, and it's also going to give it a nice flavour. So we're going to mix all that up, and you want to leave this somewhere warm where it's then going to activate the yeast. It's a good way of checking if your yeast is still usable as well. So in about 15 to 20 minutes this should have activated, and it should have a nice froth on the top, and in that time we can get all the flour sorted. Next I'm going to go in with my flour into a mixing bowl, and I'm going to go in with some salt, so 2 good pinches of salt. Just going to give that a little mix around, and then I'm going to go in with my butter. And all I'm going to do is just coat the butter in the flour, and then I'm going to rub it in. This is cold butter that I've chopped up, so let's get this rubbed in. So now all the butter is nice and rubbed into the flour. I've got no big lumps left, and that's ready for the next stage. Look at that yeast, nice and activated that is. Right, so I'm going to go in and crack 2 eggs in. Now some people add their eggs into the flour, and some people do it like this. So I've done both. I just prefer doing it like this. So we mix all that up. And then we're going to go straight in to our mixture with the flour, the salt and the butter. Going to give that a stir around. And now we've got it into this sort of consistency, we're then going to tip it onto the workbench. Okay, so just going to dust a little dusting on the bench, and then tip this out of the bowl. Get it all off the spoon. And then I just want to get it all off the bowl. And get this on the bench. And what we're going to do, we're going to do a bit of kneading. So I'm going to bring this together. It may seem quite soft to start with. We may need to add a little bit of flour, but we're just going to give it a little knead to start with. Yeah, it's not looking too bad. Maybe a touch more flour. So okay. And then I'm going to start stretching this. And we're trying to get the gluten strands in this flour to start working. Right, so I've been kneading that for a good 10 minutes now. I'm going to just bring the bowl back over and I'm just going to lift it up and put it in the bowl. Now don't panic, it is still quite a sticky dough. Then I get some cling film and we're just going to wrap it up. And we're going to leave that nice and warm to prove. Now we are going to be doing the second prove in the actual air fryer itself, but the first prove I'm just going to do it in the bowl because, to be honest, it's absolutely roasting hot in my outside cooking studio because I've got 3 massive patio doors. So yeah, it's red hot in here at the minute, so I'm just going to let this prove in the sun while I have a bit of a tidy up, and then we'll roll it out. So I've been gone about 35 to 40 minutes now, and look at this. Look at the rise on that. Right, I should really have oiled the cling film thinking on it was going to be this, but oh, it's not doing too bad coming off. Oh no, we're alright there. So that's the cling film off, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dust the bench a little, and I'm going to gently bring this out of the bowl. Onto the bench. I'm just going to push the air out of it, so just knock it back a bit. And then I'm going to get my rolling pin. Look at the size of that. And I'm just going to gently roll this nice and thin. And you want to try and keep it as rectangular as you can. And I would suggest now and again you just lift it up, make sure that it's not stuck to your bench or your kitchen side. Let me know in the comments if you don't have a rolling pin what you're going to use to roll this out. I work with someone who swears by rolling things out with a bottle of wine. I think I should have got my bigger rolling pin out. Thought this would be more novel. Okay, so I think we're about there. So I've rolled this out to roughly 1 centimetre thick. Like that. I think that'll do. Next, I'm gone with the Aldi mini egg chocolate spread. Let's open this up. And let's see what this is all about. So it's quite spreadable because it's been in here. Ah, right, so it's got like little chocolate chips. Now this is basically the Aldi hazelnut spread, like Nutella. So this has got hazelnuts in it, so my wife's gonna be really upset. So I'm just gonna go on with the whole jar. Right, wow, there we have it. The next tricky bit is we need to roll this up. So this edge, I'm just going to start by folding it, and then if I can just gently roll this, and then that end I'm going to fold this way, and then I'm going to roll the whole thing towards me. Right, I end up with a nice long sausage. So I'm going to use the Kasori 6 litre turbo blaze. Now I am going to leave the grate in, I think, am I? No, I don't think I am. I'm going to take the grate out. I'm going to take the bottom grate out because I don't want the dough to prove through the bottom. So next I'm going to cut this up into smaller chunks. And then I'm going to come over with this and you'll see that they look like a cinnamon swirl you might buy at the shop, and I'm going to sit these in the base of this air fryer basket, and this is going to be like a tear and share, so this is going to all get bigger so let's just do this one. And I've squeezed 3, 6, 9, 12 into the drawer. So I'm going to have a quick clean down the bench, and then I'll show you what settings I'm going to use for these. I'm going to now switch it on. I'll just show you, I've put them in. Switch it on, I'm going to press approve, 30 degrees, and I'm going to drop this down to 15 minutes just to give it a quick second prove, and then I'm going to press the play button. That's going to come on really low now, and it's just going to prove these hot cross swirl bun concoctions before we then bake them. And that is the end of the proving cycle. And you'll see how they've now proved and they've squashed together. So now, turn it off, I'm going to turn it back on, I'm going to press bake, then I press down on the temperatures and over on the times. I'm going to leave this on for, it's going to be 15 to 20 minutes. So let's drop it down to 15 to start with, and then we'll come out and check it at 15 minutes, and then let's press play and off it goes. Okay, so we've just ended. You ready for this? Look at them. 15 minutes and crisp on the edge, but these are going to be soft on the middle. We need to try and get these out so we can then decorate them. Right, okay, so we now need to get this out of here onto a plate. So I think what I'm going to do is just come around the side, make sure that we're not stuck. which we are all good. I'm going to turn this out. In fact, I'm going to turn it out onto the base grate because that is the perfect size. And it is, I'm going to say, a touch under on that side. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop that whole thing back in. I'm just going to give it just a couple of minutes on that top, just to finish the top. Well, to finish the base. I think that way they're going to be spot on. Now if I use the base all the way through the cook, maybe the bottom would have cooked a little bit better than it has. However, doing it this way is no biggie. Right, let's have a look. Okay, that's just finished the bottom nicely. So we now need to see if we can get this onto the plate. So let's have a little look. And yes, we've managed to do it. Wow. So that's what they look like at the moment. Then, this is what the inside of that pot, the gooey spread from Aldi, looks like. I think a dollop on each of these while they're still warm. This is definitely not one if you're calorie counting. What a nice treat. Right then, mini eggs. Now there's a distinct lack of yellow ones in here. Oh, we're getting a few now, we're getting to the bottom. Not that many though. So out of all those mini eggs we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 yellow ones. Oh, let's stick that one there. And I've got some white chocolate buttons. So again, we could just stand these up. These are the giant ones. And that's it. Now tell me, that isn't an awesome, what should we say, a cracking, but at least a treat. Let's get one ripped open and let's have a proper taste test. Right, someone's got to do the hard work, so it may as well be me. So if I pull this apart, and oh my god, the chocolate inside is so soft still. Oh my god, that is so good. Wow. I'm covered now, but wow. I would maybe advise letting them cool a little bit before digging straight in like that, because they'll tear a bit better. But to be honest, unbelievable. I honestly think this is the best Easter thing I've made on the channel yet. And I've done you know, past sort of 3 years I've done a video I've done a video for each Easter weekends, but this is another level. So good. That brioche, so soft. Let me know in the comments, are you going to try it? Let me know what spread you use in yours as well, and head over to Ninja and Kasori Cooking Community. That will soon be changing name to One Air Fryer Too Many, as I'm going to have a bit of a channel update very soon, so make sure you are hitting that subscribe notifications as well, so you don't miss the update and miss another video. Make sure you're saying hello in the comments as well. I'd love to hear from you. Anyway, until next time, hope you have a great Easter, and I'll see you again very soon.
One pizza too many.